Hey, listen, stay tuned, Richard, because coming up after the break, you're going to love this thing, man. You're going to love this thing. It's called Centipede from Centipede Tool, and it's sawhorses on steroids. That's all I can say, okay? Stay tuned, Richard.
I'll be listening.
All right. Richard's line is open. The number 800-737-2474. Coming up, Centipede. It's like the name implies. A lot of legs on the house after this. Tell me a little bit about this Centipede and how you discovered it.
Actually, it was a communication over the internet. I had not seen one except in a photograph. And I guess the inventors wanted us to try one. And I said, send me a large one and a small one. They made two models, a large and a small. And I'll take them out to a job site and try them out. And I didn't get to find a place to use them for a while because we were already involved in some jobs and already set up. So anyway, we started a new job, and I brought the big Centipede, to the job site. And I had never used one before. I had no idea how to open it, no idea what it was going to be like, except from pictures. So I got to the job site, I unzipped the carrying case and pulled this thing out and started spreading it out. And all I can say is it's an accordion that opens in two directions to make a table legs. And I was able to pull it out to 4 by 8 feet, lay a piece of plywood on it, and then during the project, we were doing framing and we needed lumber and more plywood and stuff like that. And I loaded everything onto the plywood on top of the table and ended up with this incredibly strong support mechanism. I don't know why they call it a centipede. I guess because it just keeps expanding and expanding. You can expand and contract, and I guess that's what a centipede does. It moves along.
Well, we're joined on the house on the Home Improvement Hotline by a couple of guys that know a lot about Centipede. We've got Ed Adkins, who is the president and inventor, and Keith Fyhr, who is a partner. Guys, welcome to the program.
Hi, guys. Good of you to have us on.
Hey, nice to have you. That's quite a device you've invented.
Thank you very much.
Explain it in your own words to our listeners, guys.
Yeah. Well, we get a lot of that. It is a little difficult to describe, so I'll give you kind of a generic engineer's description. How's that? It is a series of vertical struts that are interconnected and move in tandem, so that in a collapsed position, it is a very compact and lightweight package, but can easily and almost instantly be opened up to create a multiple leg, hence the name Centipede, support mechanism that you can load with lumber or plywood or any other material that you'd like to support, either for cutting in as a work surface or use it like a sawhorse. It comes with some what we call X cups that are made to go into the little tops so that you can support two 2x4s and use it like a traditional sawhorse head, or put a piece of plywood on it, use it like a workstation and mount all your tools up there. And it also, people are using it as actually a lumber support. So they throw lumber in across the cross members, like a lumber shelf as well. So,
yeah. And, and you just throw it over your shoulder in the carrying case. You just throw it over with a strap. You've got a strap on the carrying case like a tent. It's hardly bigger than a tent. And I love this 4x8 sheet of plywood that goes over the Centipede. And dude, I mean, you can have your holiday meal at this thing. It's a big dining room table.
Yeah. The large unit, when collapsed, is only 9 inches by 14 inches and 38 inches long, and it weighs only 30 pounds. And when it's unfolded, it's 4 foot by 8 foot, and it will support 3,000 pounds. That's what we have it rated for. Wink, wink.
Yeah, I got that.
I think
That's
you
right.
could land a helicopter on that sucker, but the bottom line is it's really nice to have all that heavy cutting up at waist level.
If you're just joining us, we're chatting with Ed Adkins and Keith. Is it? I guess it's Keith Fyhr.
Fyhr.
Say
Fyhr,
it.
like the emotion.
Fyrs.
It's the lack of vowels that makes it a strange name.
Keith Fyhr. There you go. But he's got no fear when it comes to innovative.
Can you
tool and
imagine?
design.
Can you imagine when he puts on a cape? He's Cape Fear.
Yeah, we'll be back with these guys and tell you a little bit more about how you can get their product on the house at 800-737-2474 after this. And we are back on the house with Ed Adkins and Keith Fyhr. They're with Centipede. And Centipede is something that you need to know about, because if you love to work with a sawhorses, for example, and you want something that's reliable, like sawhorses can be, but will provide a larger footprint, this is the answer. And if you like to tailgate, you'll love it too. And if you like to, hold garage sales and you need table space, you'll love it too.
Keith, if you have a son, you should name him No.
No fear.
No Fear, baby.
So how in there,
That was my nickname in high school.
how in heaven's name did you conceive of this thing? I mean, have you got a patent on this thing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Ed, you're the one that thought of it?
Yeah, right. Actually, it was my job. I actually had a job, if you would, as a professional inventor, if there is such a thing. A guy actually paid me to invent new products for the do-it-yourself home and remodel marketplace. I used to develop products for a small company to help people execute jobs and applications. So
I'll be darned.
And so, I was, one of the things I thought about was ways to support sheet material. We do a lot of that building with sheet material, and it's, as everyone knows, difficult material to work with. And there's, my opinion was traditional supports out there didn't really do the job well. So I kicked it around for many years until one day, how does that ever work, right? One day it's in the back of your mind and it comes to the front and goes, bing, hello.
Wow. Just amazing. Just amazing. So
what do you call a web of supports between the posts?
Those are simply crossbars. That we don't have a fancy name for them. They're actually made of very high temper steel. So that it gives great flexibility to the unit, but it keeps all the posts moving in tandem, and it also gives it great strength when a load is put on the top.
Interesting.
And really,
Gives it
that's
a lot of
what
flexibility.
makes this product unique is a lot of people, they'll see the pictures of it and they'll compare it in their minds to a bag chair or a pop-up tent.
Oh, right.
And it's actually those crossbars that keep the steel struts moving in tandem. What's missing from the other designs is the vertical steel struts that do all of the heavy lifting.
Right. So the question that I'm sure folks listening have is, where can they find it?
Well, right now it is pretty widely available. We do have a display at all Lowe's stores nationwide. It is on shelf by sawhorses in most Home Depot stores. The contractors can also order it from ABC Supply. It'll be in some of the locations, but they can order it out of the catalog.
So Lowe's, yes, I've seen you in the Home Depot. Lowe's, the Home Depot, and what did you say, Contractor Supply?
ABC Supply.
ABC Supply.
They have many hundred locations across the country. The contractors will be aware of who they
All
are.
right,
Away.
we're running out of time. 30 seconds. What can one expect to pay?
The smaller, the 2-foot by 4-foot unit is price ranging between $50 and $65. The larger unit is between $100 and $130, depending on your retailer of choice.
I am loving this, and I want to recommend to you that you go to centipedetool.com, have a look at the product, have a look at the great 2-minute video they have there. It is wonderful. These guys have worked really hard to produce a really fine product, and we like it. We think you will like it too.
Yeah, if you're an older remodeler like me, you like cutting all your materials at waist level instead of bending over and cutting at foot level. So I got to tell you, for me, what a nice, handy tool.
Ed Adkins, Keith Fyhr, Centipede Tool, thanks so much for joining us on The House.
You bet.
Thanks for having us, brothers. We appreciate it.
All right. Well, you can go to the show notes section of our website at onthehouse.com to get more information on Centipede and everything else.
Why a Centipede instead of a bunch of sawhorses? Why instead of, because 4x8 use 3 sawhorses. Okay?
Duh.
Why a Centipede? One tool.